talk about it all the time. MAFS is my favourite show. I love it so much. The Australian one is the best one in the world. New Zealand, we did it, and we didn't do it that well.
Who did it first? Was it Australia that did it?
Yeah, it's Australia's.
It's an Australian show.
Baby. And that little giggle you heard is my favourite. I was going to say contestant. My favourite star of the show, Jamie.
Oh, not the star of the show. You're making me blush.
Jamie, you are the star of the show. MAFS this season is really crazy. We're friends with John Aiken, actually. He's come in a couple of times.
Daddy John.
He is a bit of a daddy John, to be fair. And he told us right at the top of the season that it was going to be a bit mad and that there were some really questionable characters and some trad wife stuff and some really a lot of drama.
That's a very demure way to put it.
Yeah, he didn't lie. Did he?
No.
So you can't tell us too much, but I want to start off by saying everyone, because this was filmed a little bit ago, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone has gone really rogue on Instagram and TikTok and are pulling back the covers and spoiling all these secrets.
This is everybody that's on the show.
Yeah.
Right. Previous seasons they haven't.
No, because you signed contracts, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You sign contracts. But this cast is the epitome of naughty school children.
Yeah.
And I've never thought I'd say this, but silence is golden. And that's coming from me, who doesn't shut up. But when it comes to this, it is a shame that people haven't protected their outcome and journey, because as a viewer, that's the most exciting thing, not knowing what's coming.
Yeah.
But you've got a lot of big egos that want to get their side of the story out, and
it's actually, if you haven't seen it, I kind of don't recommend it because, like you say, there's spoilers all through it. But some of the cast have gotten together who weren't together.
Yeah.
And they're walking around holding hands and we're I haven't even seen the end yet. Okay, we want to talk, we've got a few questions from our listeners that we want to put to you. The first one being, how much of the show is scripted? I'm sure you get asked this all the time.
The show is not scripted, and that's what absolutely drives me wild. I see videos of me crying because that's a really big trend on TikTok to be my Shayla. And it's just me crying to Billie Eilish music, and then some random person 77_ Dino hot dog whatever.
Do you know what? Dino never leaves me alone either.
Yeah, and then he'll be like, "Oh, guys, you're falling for it. It's all scripted." I'm like, if that is the case, I am a bloody good actress.
Yeah.
I'm like, please don't diminish my pain, Dino. Thank you.
Yeah.
Definitely. Sometimes I feel like people like Jackie and Ryan probably wish they could say it's scripted.
I know. Jackie's a Kiwi, and she did say that she was Miss New Zealand.
Oh, that's Jackie.
She wasn't.
At a boat show in China. Yeah. I read about this. It was at a boat conference.
Not meaning to tear her down. She's great. We love her, but I love she keeps saying I was Miss New Zealand, and all of New Zealand's like, oh no,
that was the. I'm sorry.
You're right. You can have a little hum.
I literally just choked on my own saliva listening to that. That was the most humbling piece of art, information that came out, that she was in the Miss Yacht competition and she didn't place, and I was like, oh, that's humbling.
Yeah.
That's a real kick to the teeth.
Look, we're all holding on to things from our past that we're proud of, Okay, which couple outside of your own couple, which couple were you rooting for the most? If you look at the original couples, surely Morena and Tony, because at their wedding Tony was like, oh, the wedding was beautiful,
amazing,
and she was like, look at him, he's handsome, and then that just fell apart.
But you know what? Most weddings looked very, fairy tale like, except Jackie and Ryan's. And so, I think you have high hopes for everyone.
Were you stoked? I mean, because my partner's 6'6", and I remember when I met him, he walked through a door and he had to duck, and I was like, yum, delicious. When you came down the aisle and you saw a 6'6" man covered in tattoos, that was sort of your reaction too, wasn't it?
I mean, you could see my reaction. It was
you
very, very.
Shoved your father away.
I was like, get out of here, Dad. I'm done with you. I was just excited because I was so calm. I kept saying to production, I think I've got a Dan. I kept calling him Dan.
Right.
I'm like, I'm getting Tats and Aussie vibes. And I remember after they're like, did you know? I'm like, no, I just have this feeling. But when I saw him and I was like, okay, he's not a man with a man bun and bad teeth and stinks and comes up to my nipples, I was like, yes. yes. They listened.
Wait, how tall are you?
I'm like 5'2". I'm Kim K's height. So
Yeah,
I was
right.
literally living my Kardashian era where they're like dating like basketballers.
Yeah, we love this. Someone asked, were you did you feel a little bit better than everyone when you guys were going so well and everything was crumbling around and you kind of had this like quote unquote dream husband?
I didn't necessarily feel better than everyone because you feel kind of bad to celebrate your wins because it does feel like you're rubbing it in because a lot of my friends unfortunately had really toxic relationships. Like you saw Katie, you saw Ash, you saw Athena.
Yeah.
And then it's like I wanted to be a good support person for them rather than being like, well, Dave and I are actually going really well and we're happy and we don't have to go home to chaos.
Boring.
So you just kind of like, I just accepted we're going to be boring and just some comedic relief here and there, but let's just support my friends.
Because they say that you film like, someone was telling us like 18 hours a day or something like that, but then you're
18 hours a day?
like a lot of the day, but then you get like a 20-minute edit right in each episode. Do you, when the camera's not rolling, are you like having wines? Are you like catching up? Are you going out? Because there are definitely some episodes I'll tune on and I'll be like, I'm hungover. Like after the dinner parties and then it's the next day, I'm like, you guys hit the town afterwards.
No, you don't go hit the town afterwards. So there are curfews. So to make sure everyone is getting rest and everything like that, they do. Obviously, there's a duty of care, but. You know, I definitely love to hit the sauce at the dinner parties.
Okay, I always think this, and they never obviously like glorify it or, you know, draw attention to it, but you can definitely hear through some of the parties that people get a little bit sloppy.
It is monitored though. Like if you show signs of intoxication, like that's a big no-no. So again, there is a big duty of care, but I'm a high functioning alcoholic. So I work in a nightclub, so I can do my job and drink and scold this person and I can get all my words out. So I didn't get cut off.
Jeepers creepers. You would think that, with free booze on tap, all that drama. I also love like if you, like, have you always been like this where you can't, I don't want to say can't keep your mouth shut, but like.
No, you're right. I can't keep my mouth shut.
Like, was that before the show you were like this too? If you saw a bit of BS, you'd call it out in front of friends?
Absolutely. I'm someone, I just can't help myself. But I've my backstory is I've been in toxic relationships, friendships, I've been bullied, and being a fence sitter, it's enabling behaviour. Mm-hmm. So even when I would be out and I'd see, you know, a man get in another woman's face, or I'd throw myself in between this little 5 foot nothing. I'm like, I'll be the sacrificial lamb, but I'd rather put a stop to it and say something. And so for me, it was very easy getting involved. And plus, like, all Greeks are nosy. Like, we're all nosy.
I love that was it. What did you say in your first episode? Like, it's not just my nose that's big. It smells something.
Oh, yeah, I can smell everything. I can smell everything. So, like, when I didn't smell anything coming off of Dave, like at the end of the altar, I was like, great.
Good. That he didn't stink. What's next for you? Because I've got one more question from a listener, but I just want to know what's next for you. Because you can't tell us exactly like how it all ends for you, but like what are your dreams next?
I definitely think I have found my calling where I just need to talk. So being paid to talk sounds ideal. So maybe I'll come and join you guys.
I get paid to talk.
It's great fun.
Like this is it. This is the job. Okay, our final question from one of our listeners is just based on everything we're seeing online, are you okay?
My Shayla. I'm like the poster of the cat hanging there, pussycat. I'm hanging in.
She's hanging in.
But honestly, who would have thought the online community was so supportive? Thank you.
Honestly, I'm so glad they're being supportive because sometimes I can imagine they can be pretty brutal, right? Like,
yeah, I was expecting a lot more backlash for being so controversial, but you know, my authenticity has been celebrated online, and you know, when I cry, it seems like the rest of the world cries with me.
Babes, so I've had a couple of blubbers with you.
Yeah,
and I'll continue to do so. I honestly cannot wait to see the rest of the season. And I'm definitely not watching ahead at all with my mum at all. I'm definitely keeping up with it. It's on 3 New Zealand, 3 now. Jamie, thank you so much. A pleasure.
Thank you for having me, guys.